everybody. Friday, 20th of December, Christmas is just round the corner. How is everybody doing? Thank you for joining me. Hello, SP Crusader Nini G is in the house saying hi, everybody, with the Scientology ninja emoji. I love it. Thank you for joining, and welcome to the 5 people who are now members of the channel. If you guys want to support the channel, that's a really good way of doing it. Channel memberships, buy me a coffee is another good way of supporting the channel. Helps me keep going on with doing what I'm doing to investigate Scientology and their UK activities over on scientologybusiness.com, my blog, and here on YouTube as Apostate Alex. Now, today we're going to be talking about Greenfields, Scientology's UK school. Now, have to be careful with the way we talk about this because it's not officially owned by Scientology. Greenfields is its own independent charity. It is a charity in the UK, unlike Scientology, and it is run separately from the Church of Scientology, but it is run very, very closely, and it is all run by Scientologists. So, for example, Peter Hodkin, who is the lawyer for Scientology in the UK, is the head trustee of Greenfields. It was set up by his mother, Margaret Hodgkin, who passed away a few years ago, and it is the only school in the country that uses Scientology L. Ron Hubbard study technology. It is very similar to the Delphi Academy schools over in the US that we've heard quite a lot about on YouTube recently. It's the only Scientology school in the UK. And when I say Scientology school, I mean it's the only school that uses Scientology techniques on its pupils. It is a private school. You have to pay to go to this school. It's not free like the majority of schools in the UK. And it is expensive. It is not a cheap school to go to. Now, Greenfields is in a little bit of a financial pickle at the moment, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about that. But first, hello, Mary Kay London. Hi from New Mexico. Thank you. Where are you guys watching from? Say hello in the chat. I'd be interested to know. So this is the article here. I've linked to it in the description. Struggling Scientology school seeks financial support from parents. So let's read through it. A private Scientology school in Sussex, which lost its ability to sponsor visas for international students earlier this year, has appealed to parents to donate money in a desperate attempt to rescue the charity from financial hardship. Greenfield School, which has Scientology's UK lawyer Peter Hodkin as its head of trustees and teaches pupils using L. Ron Hubbard's study technology, has set up the new Greenfield School Fund, which aims to build a better, brighter future for current and future students. Now, this is a quote from a flyer, which I will be sharing shortly, but long story short, after an inspection in March by the Independent Schools Inspectorate, the UK Home Office took away Greenfield's visa sponsoring status. Greenfields relies on students from abroad to fund the majority of its activities. I understand about a third of the students at Greenfields were international students. However, under UK law, you can charge significantly higher fees for overseas students than you can domestic students. So even though a third of the students were overseas, about 2/3 of their income came from those students. Now, when they had their visa status revoked earlier this year, that caused a little bit of a financial problem for Greenfields, and it's something that I reported on when it happened. There's been a series of articles in Scientology Business about this, so I thought I would follow up. And considering this new publication that's been released, I think it just goes to show how perhaps close Greenfields might be to actually closing because it just doesn't have enough money. Shai Corlius here. Hello, watching from Utah. We've got Context Clueless from Oklahoma. Nancy Bassett, hi from Indianapolis. Hello, I've been to Indianapolis, lovely part of the world. I really enjoyed my time there. Vader is here. Hey, Alex, what's up? Vader saying COS asking for money. Shocker. Yes. Well, look, this is why I was very clear early on in this video. Greenfields is a separate entity. This isn't the Church of Scientology asking for money. This is Greenfield School asking for money. Excuse me. However, it is the only Scientology school, and of course, Greenfields will be paying a fee to the Church of Scientology for the use of L. Ron Hubbard's study technology in the way of a license fee. So, money that's donated to Greenfields, the charity, does find its way back to Scientology eventually, somehow, but that doesn't mean all of the money donated to Greenfields goes to Scientology, although it definitely goes to Scientologists who are studying there and working there. Let's carry on. Donating to our charity. Oh, actually, here. In a letter sent to parents, the school said, "We are asking supporters to sponsor with a monthly donation. Donating to our charity is a great way to get the maximum benefit for the students of Greenfields. Firstly, there is no VAT, that's value added tax, that's basically sales tax in the UK, on charitable donations. Not only that, if you are a UK taxpayer and opt into gift aid, your donation, which simply requires checking a box, the school can claim about an additional 25% of the value of your donation. So if you donate £100, the government will add £25 to this amount and you can claim tax relief on your donation. Win-win." Now, gift aid is nothing new. It's something that applies to all charities in the UK, and it is not something that applies to the Church of Scientology, because Scientology rejected charity status in 1999 after the Charity Commission ruled that it doesn't benefit the public. So this is one of the few charities that Scientology can rely on to get government grants and donations by the way of gift aid. But let's carry on. Back in September, Scientology business reporter Panoplia Abrupta revealed Greek Guinness, it's because I'm going to Ireland again, revealed Greenfield School was facing uncertainty after having its visa sponsoring ability revoked by the Home Office, and it had currently increased tuition fees by 30%. At the time, it is understood foreign students accounted for 2/3 of their annual income due to being charged higher fees than those from the UK. In March, the ISI flagged several safeguarding concerns after inspecting the school, something head teacher Andrew Hodgson hit out at inspectors for. And here's a quote. He said, "They did not entirely understand the role that study technology plays in allowing students to progress at their own pace," he wrote in a letter to parents. "They did not fully appreciate the extent of what we had provided with regard to extracurricular activities." A source close to the school told us that Greenfields is going through some big financial problems. The loss of the ability to have boarding school students and the ability to sponsor visas was a big financial blow. In a letter sent to parents promoting the new Greenfield School Fund, people who have donated £500 more or more are listed in different donation tiers, similar to the list of donors seen in the International Association of Scientologists propaganda. The list includes a number of prominent UK Scientologists, including former London staffers Louisa and Ali Calcioli, whose 2013 Supreme Court case led to Scientology chapels being listed as places of worship for the purposes of religious wedding ceremonies. Also mentioned on the list is Mark Pinchin, who was once Director of Special Affairs at London Org and who took part in fair game harassment against BBC reporter John Sweeney during the making of a BBC Panorama documentary on Scientology. Lizzie Calcioli, sister of the famous author Neil Gaiman, also makes the list, along with two of her children, Leo and Ali. Top of the list is Peter Hodkin himself, the head of the Board of Trustees. Now, we're going to go through this list. Scientology have been very persistent recently in trying to get my channel shut down, especially by submitting numerous privacy complaints against my channel. Anytime somebody's face appears on my channel, for example, if I'm live streaming a protest and someone walks past in the background, I get a privacy complaint. I even got a privacy complaint on behalf of Xenu for saying his name in a live stream, or not a few months ago. It only just came out that they that tried to strike my channel for privacy on behalf of Xenu, which I found quite hilarious. But the reason I'm saying this is I'm sure this video is going to get complaints for breaking YouTube's privacy guidelines because I'm saying people's names. Now, just so you are aware, this list of names is on a publicly available document that was published by a charity here in the UK. And so by saying their names, I am not doxing them or revealing any personal identifiable information. This is already in the public domain. It is a list of names published by a public authority. So there we go. That's my defense. But let's have a little look at this flyer itself. If I share my screen here, Greenfield School, here we go. It's a picture of the school. This is the document, the Greenfield School Fund. What is the Greenfield School Fund? We are starting the Greenfield School Fund so that parents, alumni, and friends of Greenfields can help support the school in achieving our aims of educating and preparing future generations for life using technologies discovered and developed by L. Ron Hubbard. What will donations be used for? Donations will go towards building a better and brighter future for current and future students. This might include allowing the school to offer bursaries to help students from all walks of life attend the school, renovating the school premises and buying new equipment, or even developing the Greenfield site to offer more opportunities for application and learning to our students. What the advantages of donating? This is the quote here that I read out earlier. How can I donate? We are asking supporters to sponsor with a monthly donation. You can fill in the form on the back page, or alternatively, you can donate through our PayPal account by scanning the QR code. If you need help or would like to make a larger bequest and want to discuss this with our trust, please get in touch. And here is the list of supporters. Now, it's important to note here that the only organizations that I'm aware of that lists supporters like this for donations as small as £500 are Scientology related organizations. There are a lot of charities that publish lists of those who have donated large amounts of money in the region of hundreds of thousands of pounds or whatever. Sometimes charities name a center after one of their big donors. It's not uncommon. But in the Scientology world, they give these people different tiers of sponsorship. So if you donate £500, you're seen as a friend of Greenfields. If you donate £1,000, you're a sponsor. And then this is where it starts to get very Scientology. If you donate £2,500, you become a silver sponsor. If you donate £5,000, you become a gold sponsor. Now, if you look at the International Association of Scientologists, this is very in keeping with that, because in Scientology, if you donate X amount of money, you become a patron. And then you become a patron with honors, and then you can become a silver patron or a silver Excalibur or a gold or platinum meritorious. They come up with all these fancy names, and it all just designates how much money you've donated, because the amount of money you've donated in Scientology is a status symbol. And this is shown on the Greenfields propaganda here as well. So if you recognize any of these names, I'd be interested to know any stories that you have about them. If you're watching this and you're a UK ex-Scientologist or even a current Scientologist, I am always open to speaking to anybody. Samuel and Elena Bonhomme, Leo and Megan Caucioli. So Leo Caucioli, he used to be the Purif IC at London Org. IC means in charge. So he was in charge of delivering the purification rundown. I don't believe that's his role anymore, but I do understand he is still on staff at London Org. Louisa and Ali Caucioli, we mentioned them earlier. They're the ones that took the government to court and won, and managed to get the chapels, which is a single room inside a Church of Scientology designated place of worship. Natalie and Aaron Zimitor. The Zimitor family are very well known in Scientology here in the UK. They are a very wealthy family that donate a lot of money to Scientology, as are the Richardsons, Michael and Tamara Richardson here. Stephanie Kane and Bertalan Halash, I don't know who they are. Rosalba and Bryce Gaybert, Yvette and Adam Kloss. Now, Sharon Kloss is somebody who was the executive director of the Church of Scientology London when I was on staff. So Adam Kloss there is a relative of her husband. Andrew and Cindy Hodgson. Now, Andrew Hodgson is the he is the head teacher of Greenfields. So I think this is where it starts to become clear just how much Greenfields are struggling when the director of the board of trustees, Peter Hodkin, who's in charge of Greenfields, has donated £5,000, and even the head teacher has donated £500. It just goes to show how desperate they are, because why would you donate to your own employer? It doesn't make sense to me. If your employer is financially struggling, it's in your interest to make sure that people donate money, because otherwise you're going to lose your job, because the school is going to have to shut down. But the fact that the head teacher here is having to donate this fund as well just indicates to me anyway how much they're struggling. Sponsors. So these are people who have donated £1,000. Barbara and Mark Kolb, Sam and Cheryl Banks. Some more Zimmertors here. Carl Zimmertor, he used to come out book selling with me at London Org. Mark and Lauren Pinchin, those are the names that I mentioned earlier. Mark Pinchin used to work with me at London Org. The McIntyre and Hoole families, and Sander and Erin Scholes. And then the silver sponsors of Greenfields. So these people have donated £2,500. Natalia and Daniel Garside. Now, the Garside is very well known. Mike, is it Mike or Mark? Mark, I think. Garside used to be a Scientology PR person, and Daniel is his son, I understand. So they've made the list. Lizzie and Mauro Caucioli, they run G&G Vitamins, which is a company in East Grinstead that supplies vitamins to orgs up and down the country. They live in East Grinstead. It's an East Grinstead-based company. And then gold sponsor of Greenfield, so £5,000, Rory and Sarah McLeod. Again, Rory, lovely guy, Scottish guy. He used to work on the foundation staff at London Org. And he has now become a bit of a Grant Cardone figure in the UK Scientology world. He claims to be a multimillionaire, and he has donated lots of money to Scientology projects over the last few months, particularly. And he's done a few podcasts actually on YouTube where he talks about his financial wins. But yeah, he used to be on staff at London Foundation, not anymore, but he donated £5,000, and Peter and Terry Hodkin donated £5,000 as well. And then it asks you to donate by calling that phone number if you wanted to. And then it's even got a success story here from Daniel and Natalia Garside, who are silver sponsors. It says, "We have been Greenfield's parents since our eldest son, Jack, was 2, so 14 years in total. I'm so proud that my kids have all gone here and had such a stable, happy education. We love the school and so do our kids. That's why we chose to help by doing a monthly donation. We know how important flowing is. That means money flows, money going into the organization. And wanted to make sure Greenfields is supported with flows to back it up, and all that it does to help keep the kids in our community able to have study tech and security to grow up to be the best versions of themselves. Thank you, Greenfields. We are going to back you up all the way." That indicates they've been told they need support, and Greenfields have got that support by the way of donations. Now, if you add up all the donations in this list, it comes to about £25,000, which is the price of 2 students doing 1 year of education in the sixth form, the highest level at Greenfields. Greenfields charge on a sliding scale. The older you are, the higher your tuition fees. If you are in the top year 13 at school, you're going to be paying over £14,000 a year to attend this school. They have, at the last count, they had 176 students or 172 students, around that figure. So why they're struggling for money, I don't know. The only thing I can think of is because they have lost potentially 2/3 of their income because they've lost the visa granting status that they once had. So my question for Peter Hodkin, who is supposedly in charge of this charity, is why did you lose the visa granting status, and what are you going to do about it? Because it's a school. The way of successfully running a school that is private is by increasing your fees, which Greenfields have done by 30%. And by encouraging new people to come and study at the school. Now, the reason there aren't so many new people going to study at this school and paying lots of money is because the number of Scientology parents with kids of school age in the UK is dwindling, because Scientology is shrinking at a rate of knots. And nobody wants to go to a school that employs Scientology technology if they're not a Scientologist, especially when you consider just how harmful and abusive things like ethics tech can be. Although Greenfields don't audit their students, you don't do auditing sessions as a kid at Greenfields anymore. I understand they used to in the past. They do have harsh ethics treatment and lower conditions and that sort of thing, which are among the most abusive and harmful elements of Scientology, as well as obviously study tech. But let's have a little look at some of these comments here. SP Crusader Lily says, question, will it have status levels, e.g. IES agreed? Yeah, exactly, 100%, yes. The levels are very similar to the IES. Kirby's mum gifted 1 Apostate Alex membership. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. And welcome to whoever got that. Please make sure you say thank you to Kirby's mum. Kirby's mum says, hi, Alex. Hi, chat. Hello. Thank you for joining. Educon says, yeah, stupid inspectors. Yeah, it's wild to me how inspectors from the Independent Schools Inspectorate came to look at the school and raised very genuine, legitimate concerns about safeguarding the children that go to this school, and the school hit back at them and said they're stupid, they don't know what they're talking about, rather than addressing the concerns and saying, maybe we should reassess our use of Scientology technology here. Let's have a little look at more of these comments here. Vader, that means that you're making a difference. Yes, they do come after me pretty hard at the moment. It's been relentless. It's been non-stop. RoboTube says, pretty wishy-washy, non-committal list of what your donations will be used for. Yes, 100%. And that is because in reality, the donations are going to be used to make sure the school can keep paying its staff and can continue operating. That is their number one priority. And if they've only raised £25,000, which is equivalent to 2 students in 1 year, it's not a pretty prospect for Greenfields at the moment financially. So could we be looking at the end of Scientology's only school here in the UK? That is a question that I think is really worth considering. Let's have a little look. Bok Buddy, how much of a cut will the Tiny Tyrant take from the £25,500 donated so far? 10, 20, 50% flowing or tithing? Yes. Well, I don't know how much Greenfields actually pays to Scientology every year, but I'm sure you could find out. If you look up the accounts of Greenfields online, it probably states in there how much money it pays in licensing fees or in administrative support fees. Something like that is how they're going to bury the Scientology donations. But they do have to pay a licensing fee to Applied Scholastics in order to use the words L. Ron Hubbard and to use the word study technology. They also have to buy the materials, probably from New Era Publications, which is Scientology's UK or European publishing arm. So they'll have to pay for those things as well. And there's only one place that you can buy Scientology publications from in Europe, and that is New Era. So they are likely spending a lot of money on Scientology. But yeah, it's worth looking up. SP Crusader Leany says the Pinchins are patrons with honours of the IS, according to Advanced Magazine. Yes, absolutely. They've donated a large amount of money to Scientology. And that's the thing. Everybody on this list that I mentioned that I remember from my time on staff are people who have donated millions of dollars to Scientology in servicing, for auditing, for training, but also to the International Association of Scientologists, which is the legal fund, it's a slush fund, the war chest that Scientology used to come after critics and former members like myself. And then also they're donating now to Greenfields. So these people are being rinsed of all of their money at every given possible opportunity by various different Scientology schemes. And it just goes to show how money is the focus of the Church of Scientology, not necessarily helping people. If Scientology really wanted to help educate children, it would stop abusing them by forcing them to do ethics conditions and so on. And perhaps the Church of Scientology should donate to Greenfields themselves. If you think about it, that might be a great way of legalizing some money here in the UK and legitimizing it, because Greenfields can claim the tax back, whereas they can't do that for the Church of Scientology themselves in the UK because they're not a charity. But Greenfields is. Just an idea. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. Just a very short one. If you want to support the channel, please do consider buying me a coffee using the link down below. I am traveling tomorrow, so you won't hear from me tomorrow, but you will hear from me on Sunday. I have something up my sleeve that's going to be happening that I can't tell you about just yet, but I will say, if you are in or around London and you want to get involved in something this weekend, please drop me an email, hello@apostatealex.com. I'll let you know what we're doing and see if you can get involved. It's going to be quite fun. But otherwise, I will see you guys on the next one. And thank you so much for those of you who've always supported my channel through coffees and PayPal donations, all that sort of stuff. It does really mean a lot. Thanks for now. See you soon.